So if you have opened this particular file, which is data manipulation using pandas, so in this particular file you need data14.csv file. Okay, so what you will do, you will click on this folder on the left hand side, and here you will find the arrow symbol on the folder. Click on this arrow symbol, and here you will find the content folder. Okay, so inside this content folder you have to upload the data set which you have downloaded from the Google Drive link. Okay, so upload that file. I have that file right here in DT experiment number. This is the data 14 file. I have uploaded this particular file right here. Okay, so when you click on this content, you will find that data14.csv file will be present inside this particular content folder. Okay, after this you have to use the pandas for the data manipulation. Okay, so you have to rename this file. What is the name of this file? The name of this file is data manipulation using pandas. Okay, so first of all, if you have not installed the panda, you have to install it. Okay, so how to install this particular panda library inside your Google Colab? You have to use the command pip install and write down the package name. What is the package name? Panda, Pandas, pandas. Okay, so use shift enter key. You will see right here the requirement is already satisfied, or it is already installed inside my system. So that's why it is showing requirement already satisfied. But if you are using it first time, it will install inside your Google Colab. Okay, I am sharing this code with you in chat. Open a chat and directly copy and paste this code inside your Google Colab document. Okay. We have to import that library inside the working library or working environment. Okay, or working notepad or working note, this Google Colab file. Okay, so what you will do, you have to use this import option to get the data inside this Google Colab. Okay, everyone. So import pandas as PD. Use this particular line of code. Okay, so you have to import panda. Clear, everyone? So use this import. First of all, you have to define what you will do in this case. Okay, so in the first case, uh, if a new user want to use your existing file, okay, he has to read the files. Okay, so what is the command and what is the purpose of that command? You have to mention that thing. Okay, so in the first line of code, what we are doing, we are installing installation of pandas. Okay, in the second line of code, what we will do, we will read CSV file. Okay, when we will write hash in front of any line. That means we are using that line as a command. That line will not be execute. Okay. So we have already installed this pandas and we will import this panda. So which function, which line of code we are using? Import. Okay. So import, what is the package name? Panda, Pandas, pandas. And what is the short form of this panda? PD is the short form of this panda. So whenever we want to call this panda, we will use PD. Okay, we will use PD. Now, how to get the input from the data14.csv file? To get the input from this data14.csv file, we will use read underscore csv function name. Okay. So firstly, we will define a variable. df is a variable. Inside this variable, what we are doing, we will call a panda with the help of this PD, and inside this PD we have a read underscore csv function. So we will call this read underscore csv function, and we have to place the parenthesis, and inside this parenthesis we have to give the file name. Okay, so what is the file name? Data 14.csv. This is the file name. So csv stand for comma separated file. Okay. So after this, what you have to do, you have to show the output, what this df variable contain. You have to define its data type. Okay, what is the data type of this df? Okay, so how you will define the data type? With the type function you can define the data type. So we are using this print function, and inside this print function we have to show the output that what is the data type. So for that we are using this type function, and inside this type function we are using the variable that is df. Okay, and that df will give you the output. Okay, with the help of the function name, type, and inside type we have to define the variable name. That's all. Okay, so this print function will give you the output of the df variable data type. Okay, after this, if you want to show the top 5 rows of that particular data which you are taking as an input, so you are taking this data inside df variable. So we will use this df variable, and we retrieve the top 5 rows from this df variable. So we will use head function. Okay, we will use this head function, and inside this head function you can define any number of rows. Okay, if you will not provide the row number right here, so it by default take top 5 rows of your data. Okay, so we will execute this line of code right here, and you will see the output. So what is the output? This print function is giving the output of this df variable data type. So you can see right here, this is a data frame. Okay, so df variable contain a data frame. Data frame means multiple columns of multiple columns and rows of that data. Okay, so this is the row starting from 0 to 4. That means this head will show the top 5 rows starting from the index value 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, that means 5 values. And on this side you will find all the columns which are present in this data14.csv file. .d types, you can see right here, it will show the values or show the data types of each column right here. Okay, d types. Okay, so you can also use df dot the shape function. Okay, df dot shape. So you can find out the shapes of this data frame. So what is the shape of this data frame? You can use df dot shape, execute it. You will find 12,067 rows are there and 8 columns are there. Okay, if you want to access only the rows, how you can access the only rows values? You can use the index value. Okay, you can use the index value. So what is the index value? Df dot shape, and inside the square bracket you have to define 0. 0 means row. Okay, so how many rows are there? 12,067 rows are there. If you want to find out the columns, you have to use the variable df. Then you have to use the function shape, and inside this you have to define the index value 1. Index value 1 represent the column. So how many columns are there? Total 8 columns are there. Okay, if you want to access the bottom 5 lines of your data, so df is a variable where your data is present. You have to use the dot operator. Then you have to use the tail function. Okay, and you can execute it. You will find that the bottom 6 lines of your data is built, is shown right here. Okay, clear everyone? Now if you want to show the values present inside this particular data, okay, and if you want to show, let's suppose that 0 to 10 rows you have to show for 5 columns, how you can show? For that we have to use the I locations. Okay, so what is the formation for the data handling? You can access data from data set. You can use the syntax. What is the syntax? I, first of all, give the command. Okay, so hash is used to give the command. So you can use iloc function. So this iloc function you have to define. Firstly you will define the row value, then you will define the column position. Okay, you will define the column position, and you have to show the data. So where your data is present, your data is present inside df variable, and you will use I location. Okay, and in square bracket you will define the values. So you will start the row from the 0 and you will end at n minus 1 location. So let's take a value 11. So it will take the values starting from 0 to n minus 1. So 11 minus 1 equal to 10. So 0 to 10 value it will show. So how many rows it will show? 11 rows it will show, 0 to 10. Okay, after that how many columns you want to show in the output? Okay, so if you use column 5, that means starting from the 0 to the 5th number of column you can get the output. So 5 is a final value. Okay, so it will start from 0 to n minus 1 location. So you will find here index value will start from id. So this is your 0 location. So 0 1 2 3 4. So it will show the output up till F4. Okay, so you will execute this line of code, and you will see the output. So up to 5 means n minus 1. So it will start from 0 to n minus 1. This id contain the index value 0. F1 contain index value 1, 2, 3, 4. So n minus 1, that means 5 minus 1 equal to 4. Up to 0 to 4 value it will display the column, whereas starting from 0 to n minus 1 location it will show the row. So what is the n minus 1 value right here? 11 minus 1 equal to 10. So it will shows the value starting from the 0 to 10. Okay, so this is the I location which will give you the output for the data access. Okay, let's take another example. If you want to take the input, okay, from this particular data, and you have to show the data starting from the line number, this row number 10 to row number 21, and set this value to minus of 2. It will eliminate last two columns. Okay, so what are the last two columns? This 6 and 7 are the last two columns. So minus 2 means it will subtract these last two columns, and it will show the output starting from ID to F5. Clear, everyone? Quickly give your response. So you can execute this line of code and you will see the output right here. It will show the output starting from ID to F5, and it will eliminate F6 and F7 column. We have to take the range starting from 20 to 31 for the row, and for column we will take the range starting from 1 to 5. Execute this line of code, you will find the output right here. The value will show right here from 20 to 30, whereas the column will shows right here starting from F1 to F4. That means it will start from the first location and it end up at the n minus 1 location. Okay, so what is the n minus 1 location for the column? 4 is the n minus 1 location, whereas what is the n minus 1 location for this row? 31 minus 1 equal to 30 is the last location. So it will show the rows starting from 20 to 30, whereas the column will be shown from F1 to F4. Okay. So how to select the data using condition? We have to use the function which is named as query. Okay. So df is a variable which contain all the data. We use dot operator and we use a function named query. Okay, so query is a function name. Inside this query function, we have to define the query. Okay, so inside this particular parenthesis and single inverted code, you have to define the condition. Okay, so let's suppose that we have a F4 column and we have F1 column. Okay, and we want only the one location or one values from this F1 column, whereas for this F4 column we take the values which are greater than 20. Okay, so we use the AND operator for this particular operation. So how we can write? Let's suppose that we have a column number F4. So for that column number F4, we have to show the values which are greater than 20, and we are using right here AND operator. Okay, we are using right here AND operator. So AND operator with this F1 column, and the F1 column value should be equal to 1. Okay, so quickly give your response in chat. What is the output in this case? Quickly. Uh, I will show the AND operation you. Initially, we have seen this AND operator. So what is the function of this AND operator? It is the multiplication of the two input and give the output as a by. Okay. So let's suppose that we have 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 1 inputs. So you can see from these inputs, okay, if you have both the input 1, 1, then it will show the output 1. Okay, if you have any one of the input is 0, your output will be always equal to 0. Okay, so you can relate this particular condition from the data. Okay, so it will show the F4 column value which is greater than 20, and if that F1 column value is equal to 1. So both conditions should be equal to 1, then it will show the output. And you can see the output. Okay, use shift enter key and observe the output right here. You will see the F4 column contain all the values which are greater than 20. Okay, no value is less than 20 right here. You can see the output right here. Okay, clear everyone? So this is the output for your F4 column. Whereas for F1 column, you can see the output right here for F1 column. Uh, every value from this F1 column is equal to 1. There is no other value which shows 0. Okay. So it will give the output only when these two conditions satisfy, and that data is shown right here. You will see right here some rows are missing in between these two numbers. Okay, so why these are missing? Because they will not satisfy this condition, that's why they are eliminated. What is OR operator? Okay, so OR operator is taking two input A and B, and it will add up these two input and give you the output as Y. Okay, so let's suppose that your inputs are 0 0 0 1 1 0 and 1 1. So any one of the input is 1, then it will give you output as 1. Okay, so you will get the output 1 when any one of the input is satisfied. Okay, so if this condition satisfy and this condition not satisfy, then also it will give you output. Okay, if both the conditions will not satisfy, then it will not give you the output. Okay, otherwise if any one of the condition is true, then it will give you the output. So quickly, 6036 rows satisfy this condition. Okay, 6036 rows satisfy this condition. Okay, again I am taking this example, and right here I am changing the value from 20 to 10. Okay, and I'm using this value, and you can see the output right here, how many conditions are satisfied in both these equations. Similar equation if I will use for the OR operator, then you will see right here, OR operator is this straight symbol. Okay, OR operator is this straight symbol, and you will see 6572 rows satisfy this condition. This 7460 rows, okay, are showing the output. Okay, so if any one of the condition is true, then it will show the output which you are taking as an input. Okay, what is the correlation? Correlation is the similarity between each data. Okay, so how you will find this correlation? We have a data frame df, and we use this function dot corr. This is a function name for the correlation, and here you will see the correlation between each column. Okay, so right here you will see the diagonal. Okay, you will see the diagonal. In the diagonal, you will find the maximum correlation. In the diagonal, you will find the maximum correlation. Why is it so? Because you are matching the same column with the same column. Okay, right here you will see this ID and ID is the same column which is matching right here. Okay, so it will show you the 100% correlation with each other. Similarly, F1 column is matching with F1 column, and you can see it will show you 100% correlation. Okay, Similarly for this F2 column, okay, so right here you can also see. So when you change the column, let's suppose that if you want to correlate F7 column with F4 column, okay, you will see this correlation is present right here. This correlation is 0.29. So it is lesser as compared to 1.0. Clear, everyone?